So is Usoro now being the president-elect until when he's sworn into office? Is he able to bring feuding or disenfranchised members of the NBA together?
That would be the challenge, the cohesiveness, the unity, his ability to be able to weld all these conflicting, tension together will determine his success. I know Paul Usoro as somebody who is amiable, who's also very friendly and accessible. But I think he needs to do more. Beyond it, to show, in the face of all these crises that we have, disenchantment we have, I'm not sure, I'm sure you have read the commentary of Professor Udikali, for instance, who criticized the process, who was also very vehement in opposing his candidacy from the beginning. He needs to reach out and convince and douse tensions that is indeed the leader of the bar. Whoever will lead the NBA must project himself as the leader of the entire NBA, must see the entire NBA as his constituency. So what we can do at this stage is to give advice to the incoming policy-led NBA to work for the people, to work in favor of the Constitution, in defense of the rule of law, to work for the protection of human rights, to work for good governance, to work for transparency and accountability. Because all of us, we're on the lookout. We cannot, the NBA that will serve us must be pro-people. If the NBA deviates from, the protection or the defense of the people, some of us will rise. Many people will rise. Because NBA is like they are trustees to fight for you. Someone like me who's not in the executive, I expect that when critical issues emerge in the national space, I should have a body that will speak for me, that will reflect my, my interest and my aspirations. If, for instance, I see the NBA not, doing that, I will speak up because my voice is not taken away from me as a lawyer or as a citizen. So, but what I'm saying is that beyond these elections, work has just started.
Let me get your thoughts, because as with his submissions, you've listened to him quite largely. It does seem to suggest that there are a lot of challenges that the members of the NBA will be facing now going forward. But if we have to tally that with the responsibility of the NBA and its members to ensuring cases are dispensed faster in courts, for instance, look at cases in the tribunals when we get to that point, and dilly-dallying with politicians. Is it that much of a challenge, do you think?
Well, let me start with the challenges that we are said to have beleaguered the voting process itself. You see, my thoughts about this is that we have been quite partisan as lawyers, and we have forgotten that look, we all belong to one association, and our interest should be for the sustenance of the integrity of that association. A lot of people have made wide-reaching allegations about this, about that, but largely a lot of these allegations were not true. Now, as regards the elections, allegations came in that the company that was to handle it could probably be prejudiced because one director of the company serves in another bank where one of the candidates is a director. Fine, but what did the NBA president do? He called a stakeholders meeting. They all sat down in Abuja. What do we do? What is the way forward? And the process, largely, as it has turned out, is a product of what was agreed upon. All the stakeholders, all presidential candidates, indeed all candidates, were carried along. Now, when we talk about disenfranchisement of voters, let me give you some statistics. In 2016, we had about 35,000 eligible voters in the NBA. Those who have paid their dues as at when due, that is as at the 31st of March of that year. We ended up with just 6,000 lawyers voting. This year, 2018, we had 32,000 eligible voters. And there was a process, the process of accrediting, updating your records, you know. A lot of the challenges came not with the system itself, but the challenges come from individual lawyers. Some of us have registered or used emails that we no longer use, and those are the emails in the records. And at the time this list is displayed and everything is downloaded, you are meant to go there, update your records properly.
Revalidation.
Revalidation. And that's where the challenge came in. At the end of the out of 32,000, just about 15,000 were able to revalidate. That also came with its own challenges. But you see, my point is that for those who were persistent, for those who insisted that, look, I must be part of the process, they probably got it right. And out of 15,000 who validated, we had about 12,000 votes, which is an improvement from 2016. But see, like I said, some of these challenges are things we must look into. How do lawyers embrace technology? For those of us who are involved in this election, we knew how we had to set up centers to assist lawyers to do some of these simple things that everybody should do from the comfort of their homes and their phones.
So, sorry, just to clarify, 32, how many, what's the population of the NBA?
Well, the NBA, we are reputed to have close to 100,000 lawyers in Nigeria.
How many registered to vote?
But you see, registration and eligibility to vote comes with...
Yes.
You must have paid your dues, both at the national and local levels, as at the 31st of March of that year. So that supposes that we have a lesser number who have paid their dues regularly. So it's only when you have paid your dues regularly as at the time due that you are eligible to vote. And it's this, from this number, that will now be uploaded, and then you now have to come back and revalidate so that, you know, your records are updated and then you'll be able to vote.